Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Yeah! Ha 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 ha! I'm back, motherfuckers. How you doing? Hey, it's me, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the PDawgKnight Channel. It's the Morning Night Live on this Friday, the 5th of December, 2025. And guess what? We figured it out. Friday Q&A. Ask me anything. There we go. I got the damn thing working today. I'm so happy. All it took was to, I guess YouTube's been messing around with it, and all you had to do was, once they fixed it, you had to log in and log out, and now Friday Q&A is back, bitches. So there we go. It's Friday. You get Friday Q&A today. Weren't expecting it. Woo! You can't hear me, can you? Here, is that better? That's got to be better. I was kind of soft there a minute. Anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful Friday morning. My Friday has been very busy today. Holy smokes, did we get done late today? And I just threw this stuff together, which is not unusual. But, hey, I look pretty good in the light. I don't have to change the settings. That's stuck. That's good. And we're going to talk about that J6 pipe bomber guy today, and then we'll get into Friday Q&A. But there's a whole bunch of other news, so let's get into it. Now, of course, my obligation every day is to say hi to everybody first. I got to move the calendar there. There we go. So let's say hi to everyone in the chat and get this thing going. First in the chat today, Somnambule Nation! Gets the bell. There we go. It's like the bell wasn't ringing. I hit it 3 times. Also, good morning, Avocados Avocados Diablo, what's up? Midnight's in the house. What up, Midnight? And Miss Wild Wolf is here. Looks like this Kara Soldier. What up, Mike Savage, Blarg? And why is this not scrolling? Is that everybody? No, that can't be. Oh, there we go. Now it's scrolling. JB's in the house. What up, J Blizza? Lord Stanhope's in the house. Good morning. And Attack Alpaca, Special Can Acid. Hey, where you been? Nice to have you back on my list of honorable mention favorite Canadians. Nice to have you back. I said Lord Stanhope, and that's everybody so far. That's a good start, though. There's 16 people, and I don't know. How many likes are there? 5 likes. Come on. Everybody with Avocado Diablo, hit that like button right now. Y'all messing me up here. Anyway, got my coffee in my beautiful orange cup. Now, this is not a Halloween cup. This is a cup that came from, where do we get? Sedona, Arizona. My mother-in-law brought that back for me when she went to Sedona. This had to be 12, 13 years ago. She went down to Sedona. Grandma went down to Sedona. She was looking for a soul to steal. Instead, she came back with a cup with coffee, and it's a good deal. So that's everyone who's in the chat so far. I'm sure more people will show up eventually. Thanks to people sharing the stream. I greatly appreciate it. Here, let's see. Look who. Oh, I didn't even share it myself. There, let me post that. Duh, Marty, what are you doing? I didn't even post the damn stream. So now, if you can find me on X, you can retweet the stream. I'm not even going to pin it today. I'm not going to pin it. It's too late. Too late to pin that message. I believe it'll stay in the, I can't think of a word to put there. That's weird. Well, here, let me at least put it on locals, because I don't know why I keep putting things on locals. I don't think anyone follows me on locals except for Ty Alexander. But if you follow me on locals, you usually get a better, you get a quicker notification because it comes immediately after I hit publish versus YouTube, where you might not get the notification for an hour because they're just like that. Hello, Blue-Eyed Scream. I see you. You made it. Nice to have you here. Okay, so I can get rid of that. What do I need there? I don't need that. Here's the people who shared the stream, though. If I can hit that notification button. I know Somnambule Nation did because you beat me to it. I saw you as I was posting. Yours was already in in the queue. So there it is. Somnambule Nation sharing the stream like a good boy does. And same with Miss Wild Wolf, just like a good boy does, even though you're not a good boy. Because, parts. And then thank you, Miss Wild Wolf, for retweeting Somnambule Nation's tweet of the show. And then we got, oh, I know nothing. Oh, I didn't even see that. I scrolled through that before and I didn't realize that was Tim Wall's face on Sergeant Schultz. And if you don't know who Sergeant Schultz is, oh, Lord, you are young. You know, it's funny. When that show was out, I think it was in the 60s, right? Maybe it was early 60s, Hogan's Heroes. And I really hadn't thought of the implications of how that show could have been offensive to people. Because it's like, granted, it was making fun of the Nazis, but it was still kind of, well, you think about it now and you're like, oh, geez, I don't know. Anyway, the thank you, Somnambule Nation. That is funny as hell. Because he knows nothing. And also thank you for retweeting my post, Somnambule Nation and Tyre Alexander. And there's our daily woo, Ric Flair. We got that every day. Little yeah, let's get it on, basically. I'll repost it even though I messed up, hit the wrong button. And then Ms. Wild Wolf with your Friday free for all GIF that she created herself. I don't know if that's in the gift choices today anymore, but I like it. Is that something you created yourself and you can share or you can copy and paste or whatever? Thank you. Did the main actor die in a sex act gone wrong? Are you talking about the guy who played Colonel Hogan? He was killed for his bizarre habit of taping himself stupping people. I'll say stupping instead of that. But yeah, Bob Crane, that was his name. Yeah. Should we look that up? I'm sure there's here. Should I ask Grok? Grok would be a good person to ask. Here we go. Let's find Grok. Super Grok. How did Bob Crane of Hogan's Heroes die? I'm afraid to. Okay, Bob Crane, the actor who played Colonel Hogan in the night. Here, I'll put it on the screen. Oh God, this is a long answer. There we go. Bob Crane, the actor who played Colonel Hogan in the 1960 sitcom Hogan Heroes, was murdered on June 29, 1978 at the age of 49. He was only 49 years old. He was found bludgeoned to death in his apartment in the Winfield Place Apartments in Scottsdale, Arizona. The cause of death was multiple blows to the head with blunt object. The murder weapon was never definitively identified. The police suspected it was a camera tripod. The electrical cord was tied. Holy shit, an electrical cord was tied around his neck, suggesting the killer may have attempted to strangle him as well, though the head wounds were primary cause of death. Blood spatter evidence indicated he was attacked while asleep. Semen was found at the scene, and police later discovered a large collection of homemade pornographic videotapes in Crane's apartment, which pointed to his active and sometimes risky sex life involving numerous partners he met through video equipment he carried. He met through, well, anyway. The prime suspect was John Henry Carpenter, a friend and video equipment salesman who had been traveling with Crane and helping him film sexual encounters. Carpenter was tried for the murder in 1994. That's like 20, how much? 26 years later? 26 years, 16 years later. Okay, I can't add. Anyway, after new forensic evidence, a tiny speck of blood in his rental car that was alleged to match Crane's rare blood type emerged thanks to advances in DNA technology. Carpenter was acquitted and the case was made officially unsolved. No one else has ever been charged, and Carpenter died in 1998, still maintaining his innocence. The murder is generally believed to have been connected to Crane's compulsive womanizing and videotaping of sexual encounters, possibly a jealous husband, a spurned lover, or a dispute related to that lifestyle. So there you go. I'm quiet. Am I still quiet? Or am I no, I'm fine now, right? It's is that better? Yell into the microphone. XD, I'm quiet. Okay, did that fix it? I'm not yelling. Okay, so there you go. That's how Bob Crane did. Here, I turned this up. Better now? Okay. I don't like to put the gain in because I don't want you, like if I'm doing laundry while I'm doing the show, because sometimes I'll throw a load of laundry in before I do the show. And I don't like the sound of the, well, my microphone, I guess it's fairly directional, so whatever. Okay, so there you go. That's how Bob Crane died, who played Colonel Hogan of Hogan's Heroes. Okay, now, I don't even know why I brought that up. Oh, because of the GIF from Mr. Soundable Nation. Also, thank you for Mike Savage with the Let Us Go daily. And TC, the moist squirrel tree rat thingy, also participating in the promoting of this show. Greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Okay. And I didn't have it there. There you are. Let's just scroll. There you all are right there. That's all obvious right there. So I didn't do that. Okay. I don't have a specified holiday. So let's just show you the damn holiday calendar like I often do. Today's holidays are Celebrate Shelter Pets Day. What? Show your love for shelter pets. The Celebrate Shelter Pets Day. Adopt, donate, or simply spread the word. Okay, that makes more sense. How about adopt a pet day from a shelter, or adopt, whatever. Get a pet, because pets are good. They make you happier in life, and until they die or something. But then you get another pet and it's okay again. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about that. International Ninja Day. Oh yes, who's Resolute? No, not Resolute Germ. Green Badger Outdoors is the one. Who's the one who always puts the ninja stuff up? The ninja movies. I can't. Anyway, whoever ninja movie, it's your day. International Ninja Day, National Blue Jeans Day, World Soil Day. So go rub some dirt on it. Yeah, JB does that. That's right, Jay Blizza. Anyway, it's World Soil Day, so rub some dirt on it. International Volunteer Day, though that I can celebrate. That's cool. National Bartender Day. Ooh, yeah. Wait, there we go. National Bartender Day. There, way to wake up there. Also, Bartender Appreciation Day. Yeah. Even though I am no longer a professional bartender, well, once you're it's like being a Marine. Once you're a bartender, you're always a bartender. I'm a bartender, and I'm proud of it. The few, the proud, the bartenders, okay? There you go. And then National Johnny Day if your name's Johnny. National Devin Day if your name is Devin. Those are stupid holidays with the name things, whatever. All right, things happening in the world. Let's just go down kind of a list here because I want to make sure we get to Friday Q&A. So we'll go through this kind of quickly. Did I show you this yesterday about Tim Walz bitching about being called a retard, or retarded or whatever? And now he's saying that because the president said that there are people doing drive-by retards at him, and that he thinks it's going to lead to violence. These motherfuckers always try to play that violence card. And, if you ask them, oh, well, why would you think that? Well, then they'll go, oh, well, January 6th or Charlottesville or whatever. Because they got like 6 examples to the thousands that you can give for leftist violence. But, whatever. How about, someone calling you retard is going to cause violence. Well, how about calling people Nazis and fascists? What, you think that might lead to violence too, Tim? Here's Tim Walz being an idiot, which is redundant. Play.
True. This creates danger.
Does it?
And I'll tell you what, in my time on this, I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word in front of people.
Oh, retard?
This is shameful. And I have yet to see an elected official, a Republican elected official, say, you're right, that's shameful. He should not say it. So look,
I have yet to see a Democrat official or, a politician say it's shameful to call people Nazis and fascists. I mean, retard's pretty mild compared to Nazi and fascist. So, Tim, get the fuck over it. Okay, all right, enough about that. Anyway, so yeah, Tim Walz complains that calling him retarded will lead to violence. There's a whole article on it, but you get the drift. You can read it if you want. Speaking, what the hell? Hang on a minute. I don't know if I can fix this. Oh, maybe I can. Yes, I can. Okay. By the way, the reason Tim Walz's been in the news a lot lately is because of all the fraud going on in Minnesota. But it's not limited to Minnesota when it comes to government programs, as you might guess. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. How you doing? And Tyre, the Pope, Tyrannius III, the Blessed Lich. Did you have a message? Did I skip your message today? Or oh, there it is. Holy shit, I can't believe I did that. Good morning, Tyre Alexander, the Blessed, the Pope Tyre, the Blessed, the Blessed Lich, yes. With the message of hope from not the Father, not the Son, but the Holy Ghost. Who says, the blessing of the Holy Ghost. I should have pretty music for this. I dropped my music service, though. I decided it wasn't necessary. Anyway, blessing of the Holy Ghost. Today, it is snow. Just sit back and get a warm drink, watch the snow fall, and reflect on your many blessings. Thank you, sir. That made me feel good because it is snowing here today. I was driving home and there's all snow and shit. It's like, but you know, I live in Minnesota. It's nothing new. It's what we do. We do snow in Minnesota. So it's not like it's not like, it's December and oh gosh, I can't believe it's snowing. No, it's supposed to snow because I'm in Minnesota. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to what I was gonna say here. The bombshell. Oh, Zach Osborne's in the house. What's up, Zach? Nice to have you back. More fraud is being found every day. 2, it's substantial. Oilfield Rando and others posting millions of dollars of it. I see daily. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's a great account, by the way. Oilfield Rando on X is really a very informative X account. But anyway, here's one new one, too. The Government Accounting Office bombshell reveals that Obamacare fraud on a massive scale. Oh, who's shocked? I am shocked that there's a massive Obamacare fraud.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb.
Remember how the Democrats shut the government down to squeeze out 3 more years of Obamacare subsidies for illegal aliens? Well, and they'll deny that part. But anyway, there's a fresh report from the Government Accountability Office. Not accounting office, but has thrown a harsh spotlight on what they were really defending. Investigators set up fake applicants and let the federal marketplace do its thing. The system welcomed them with open arms. Officials approved subsidies for 90% of those phantoms, and that's a hit rate that would make any scam artist proud. Holy shit. Wait, Martin, you should hear the newscasters in my area left my ass up. They were saying getting 4 inches of snow is unusually large amount of snow. Oh, good God. Anyone who was here in 1991 knows that that's an unusual amount of snow would be like, 30 inches, because that happened once. And Halloween. And we never stopped talking about it. It's so funny. Anyway, back to this. GAO agents went undercover, flagged serious fraud risk in the advanced premium tax credits. Their findings reveal a true prize Democrats fought to protect, a subsidy machine that sprays tax dollars at people who exist only on paper. The federal marketplace approved coverage for nearly all of GAO's fictitious applicants in plan years 2024 and 2025, generally consistent with and now notice too, this is not just the Trump maggot people doing, trying to prove that this system sucks. They've been going on, they started on this in 2024 when the brain-addled, dude was in office. So anyway, the federal marketplace approved coverage for nearly all of GAO's fictitious applicants in plan years 2024 and 2025, generally consistent with similar GAO testing in plan years 2014 to 2016. So they've done this before, and there's been fraud. In the New York Post, here I'll link the New York Post article to this too. In the plan year 2024, all 4 of GAO's fake applicants received coverage with lower monthly premiums, thanks to $2,350 per month in Obamacare subsidies granted to insurers, despite not submitting documentation to support Social Security numbers, citizenship, and reported income. Oh, wait, I thought for sure they said there's no way for illegal immigrants to get this. Oh, all they have to do is put in a fake name. The subsidies that had 18 fake enrollees were approved for a total over $10,000 per month. Evidence of the potential misuse of Social Security numbers include dead people receiving coverage was also discovered by the GAO. In the plan year 2023 alone, one Social Security number was used to receive subsidized insurance coverage for over 26,000 days, over 71 years of coverage across over 125 insurance policies. What? Now, I don't know how they can get money out of that. I'm not sure if they can do that. But anyway, in 2024, 66,000 Social Security numbers were linked to more than a year's worth of subsidized coverage. GAO also compared Social Security numbers of the deceased to those that received tax credits, and in 2023 identified over 58,000 matches, including at least 7,000 people who died before the coverage began. So investigators exposed a major weakness inside of the Obamacare scheme. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services allows the same Social Security number to run through the enrollment process multiple times. In other words, it was designed for fraud. So now I want to know who's gaining from it if that's happening. You know what I mean? Are insurance companies like doing this, or are there people finding a way to monetize the fraudulent coverage? I don't know. Hello, Jay Pylon. What's up, man? That's also how they were getting over the elections. Now you can see the 85 million voters too. Oh, no doubt whatsoever. Good morning, Jay Pilot. Nice to have you back, brother. They were using AI-generated people with very questionable IDs. There were thousands coming in through the managers told agents to push them through. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. These people, I mean, it's anyway. So that you can read the whole article, and then the New York Post article is also here. Obamacare subsidies granted without documentation to 90% of fake accounts set up by the government watchdog. So yeah, and that's what, they're talking about, subsidizing, that they're pushing those subsidies for another 3 years. Now, look, I understand some people are stuck with this Obamacare nonsense, and I shouldn't call it Obamacare. Although it's so bad, you might as well. Anyway, there's so many that they what was I going to say? I forgot. Good God. Anyway, there are certainly ways for people to get the Affordable Care Act subsidies somehow, but not being real. So there you go. So there's the whole the New York Post article. I'll have that linked to. That's right there. There you go. All right. What else in the news? Oh, speaking of fraud and shit that probably could go wrong, apparently these two twin brothers were charged with plotting to delete government databases and steal everyone's private info. Two Virginia twin brothers were arrested for their alleged roles in destroying government databases hosted by a federal government contractor, according to the Justice Department. Munib and Sohaib Akhtar, both 34 years old, were indicted in November for allegedly plotting to destroy databases used to store government information. Munib was charged with conspiracy to commit computer fraud and destroy records, 2 counts of computer fraud, theft of government records, 2 counts of aggravated identity theft, while Sohaib was charged with conspiracy to commit computer fraud, destroying records, and computer fraud. Which, okay, isn't that interesting? They're going to charge you with conspiracy to commit computer fraud and computer fraud. That's double dipping as far as I'm concerned. Just do the computer fraud. Although there were 2 of them involved, so there'd be a conspiracy. Okay. So according to Fox Digital, following their termination as federal contractors, the pair allegedly attempted to harm their former employee and its U.S. government customers by accessing computers without authorization, issuing commands to bar others from modifying the databases before they were removed, deleting databases, stealing information, and destroying evidence of their activities. The DOJ said on Wednesday in the latest case against the 2 men. In February, Munib Akhtar deleted nearly 100 databases storing U.S. government information, with many of the databases containing Freedom of Information Act records administered by the federal government, as well as sensitive investigative files of federal government components and the indictment claims. So, yeah, if it's true, these guys can go rot in jail too. All right, next, other things happening right now. Representative, you remember this guy? This guy somehow got elected. And he is a Democrat in Congress now. And I can't remember. And it's funny because he has a really let's just say, questionable backstory. But I digress. He's apparently filing articles of impeachment against Pete Hegseth. So, somebody hears every new attack aimed at Pete Hegseth makes me want another narco drug boat blown up and sent to the bottom of the ocean, which Pete Hegseth responds, "Your wishes are command, Andrew. Just sunk another boat." Anyway, on September 2nd, off the Venezuela coast, U.S. forces targeted a suspected drug boat, killing 9 people initially, and then 2 survivors, according to footage reviewed by lawmakers. Representative Sri Thanadar accused Hegseth of ordering no survivors and mishandling classified info in a leaked chat, planning the impeachment articles. Republicans call the strikes lawful against narco traffickers, while Democrats decry them as troubling. The White House defends the operation amid partisan divides. Blah 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 blah. So this person, this jackass, and I don't know if that's a hair. He's got some. If that hair is real, that brother's got some amazing hair. I'm just saying. That's wow. But anyway, yeah, he's decided that he's going to try to file articles of impeachment against Pete Hegseth. So, and let's see what else. Why is this? I don't even know why I put that one up there. But anyway, that's in the news. Also in the news, Warner Brothers, the movie company, the media movie place, apparently is being taken over by Netflix. Today, Netflix announced our acquisition of Warner Brothers. Together, we will define the next century of storytelling, creating an extraordinary entertainment offering for audiences everywhere. Some people are happy about this and some are not. This guy says HBO made some of the greatest TV shows of all time. Warner Brothers has made some of the best movies ever. Netflix has made some of the worst of both. They will not have the same level of excellence with their new work that WB did, Warner Brothers. This is horrible for the film and TV industry. I don't know. What do you think? Is it bad for the TV industry and movie industry? But a lot of people talking about it. It made one of the top topics today. So anyway, now might be a good time to start stocking up on any and all physical copies of Warner Brother films, because I'm not holding out a glimmer of hope, excuse me, that the tech overlords at Netflix will be interested in the longevity of you physically owning movies. Yeah, if there's movies you really like, you might want to get them on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever the hell you use now. I've streamed everything now lately, and I don't think the shows on Netflix are all that bad. They put out some good stuff, actually. We watched a couple good movies this week that were Netflix produced movies that were okay. So I don't know. It's just if you watch a lot of TV, maybe that's important. I don't know. It has Paramount. Oh, and Netflix. The stock ticker, whatever symbol, is trending also. That WB purchase by Netflix may fall foul of monopoly laws. Yeah, it might. I don't know. It could. Netflix has to borrow $100 billion to make the deal to buy DC Comics, HBO, and Warner Brothers. Yeah, and the other part too. Does Warner Brothers have something to do? No. Who has the Marvel properties right now? Is that still Disney or whatever that conglomerate is? And then, so they're trying to buy, and Netflix is going to end up with the DC properties? I'm not sure. But Trump has to give his okay to the deal because it's a really large deal that could be a monopoly. Yeah, it very well could be. So who knows? But they're not acquiring Paramount. Paramount was trending too because John Chu has signed a 3-year deal with Paramount Pictures. So this is the news here. Chu's Electric Somewhere banner will develop films and TV shows on the Paramount lot, partnering with studio leaders like Dana Goldberg and Josh Greenstein. This follows his past work at Warner Brothers on Crazy Rich Asians, which I finally watched that movie. Hello, Lewis. What's up? I finally watched the movie Crazy Rich Asians after, I don't remember when that was made. Was that like 2010 maybe? I don't know when it was made. And it was not what I expected. It was I actually enjoyed that movie. I thought it was going to be like Asian Friends or some shit. But no, it was actually it was kind of a cute movie. I digress. This follows past work at Warner Brothers and In the Heights, and comes after Universal's Wicked films racked up $756 million in 2024, plus 2 Oscars, with the 2025 sequel earning $393 million in its debut. Paramount sees it as a win under new chairman David Ellison, even as Chew juggles projects like Britney Spears biopic and a Hot Wheels movie elsewhere. Wait a minute! He's doing a Britney Spears biopic? Are they going to go all the way into her craziness now? Have you seen her on, like, she's gotten all weird and shit lately. So anyway, all right, so there you go. That's that. I got to go faster because I got to get here. Well, let's go to the main topic because the other one's on here. The EU is trending. National security is trending. National security strategy is trending. What's interesting about this popping up today is I saw a video yesterday about a guy talking about the kind of moving away from NATO expansion and how if the one of the EU's biggest worries is if after this little summit in Russia, that's today, right? This Russia thing, or is that next week? No, it's today. After this little summit in Russia, if the United States and Russia decide to be less confrontational, how that might not be good for the EU. And so this is an interesting topic. And so this popped up today. Now, mostly the people bitching about it are showing up in the post. This one says, "This is big. The final U.S. national security strategy was just published, and the refocus on the Western Hemisphere, i.e. the Americas, is confirmed. The document clearly establishes this as the U.S.'s #1 priority, saying that the U.S. will now assert and enforce a Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine. In terms of military presence, they write that this means a readjustment of our global military presence to address urgent threats in our hemisphere and away from theaters whose relative import to American national security has declined in recent decades or years. On China, a couple points. The most striking aspect to me is that China is not anymore defined as the primary threat, most consequential challenge, pacing threat, or similar formulations used in previous such documents." Wondering about that. It's clearly downgraded as a priority based on the document's structure and emphasis. The top U.S. priorities could be characterized as 1. Homeland security and borders, migration, cartels, etc. Western Hemisphere, Monroe Doctrine restoration, and economic security, reindustrialization and supply chains, and China and Indo-Pacific. Now, the thing about that, when they say that they're kind of downgrading the China threat.
China is asshole.
Is this basically just cooling the air around that whole situation, where that has been kind of heated for a long time, and where while they're saying that it's not considered the biggest challenge, but when you make this public national security strategy have verbiage like that, is it to kind of ease tensions with China? That's a strategy, right? So that's interesting as I read this right now. To be clear, they don't define China as an ally or a partner in any shape or form, but primarily an economic competitor, a source of supply chain vulnerabilities, but also a trading partner, and 3, a player whose regional dominance should be ideally denied because it has major implications for the U.S. economy. Interestingly, this person says, I believe for the first time ever, they mentioned the possibility of being overmatched militarily by China. They write that deterring a conflict over Taiwan, ideally by preserving military overmatch, is a priority. Ideally clearly means that it's the ideal, but not necessarily a given. The fact that they call deterring conflict over Taiwan merely a priority also suggests by definition that it's no more a top strategy priority or a vital interest. On Taiwan, they also clearly imply that the U.S.'s first-hand island chain allies don't step up and spend, and more importantly, do much more for collective defense, then there might be a balance of forces so unfavorable to us as to make defending that island impossible. They still maintain that the United States does not support any unilateral change in the status quo in the Taiwan Strait, but clearly there's a widening gap between what the U.S. says it opposes and what it actually was willing to do about it. Interesting as well, contrary to previous such document, there is zero ideological dimension in the document when it comes to China. No democracy versus autocracy framing, no rules-based international order to defend, no value-based crusade. China's treated as a practical issue to be managed, not an ideological adversary to be defeated. Interesting. The fact the document explicitly mentions, I think for the first time ever, well, that U.S. policy is now not grounded in traditional political ideology, that they seek good relations and peaceful commercial relations with the nations of the world without imposing on them democratic or other social change that differs widely from their traditional histories. Now, that's something you'd think that the lefties would be, oh, the joy, and everyone's chanting in Mudville. But of course, they can't do that because it's the Trump administration coming up with. So, they're going to be bitching about that. Which is quite a stunning departure from the rhetoric of the past few decades. We all knew this, but now it's amply clear that the era of missionary liberal internationalism in U.S. foreign policy is dead and buried. We're not going to impose our shit on them and then we can just tell them to fuck off if they do stupid shit. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. The competition with China is primarily described as in economic terms, explicitly so. They write the competition is about winning the economic future and that economics is the ultimate stakes. Notably, they admit that the tariffs approach that began in 2017 when it comes to China essentially failed because China adapted and has strengthened its hold on supply chains. The new strategy, as described in the document, is to build economic coalition against China that can exert more leverage than the U.S. economy alone, a tacit admission that America just isn't powerful enough on its own anymore. We're still the world's largest consumer, though. So if we don't buy their shit, it hurts everybody. But the contradiction is, however, obvious. Unclear how you build an economic coalition against China while simultaneously waging trade wars against your coalition partners, demanding that they shoulder more of their own defense, and treating every allied relationship as a deal to be renegotiated in America's favor. At some point, these allies will be asking the very obvious question, why sacrifice our economic interests to prop up an America that can no longer compete on its own and that offers us less and less in return? Now, because we're still going to be that consumer country. So, hello, Midnight Nexile. What's up? So anyway, there you go. That gives you an idea, a pretty interesting summary of this national security strategy. Now, there's plenty of people bitching and moaning for whatever reason they come up with on the left and the right. So you can read through that and see what you think. I haven't read through the whole thing, so it's not happening. All right. Oh boy. All right. Let's do the main topic, which is the DC pipe bomber. So they arrested somebody, right? They arrested somebody. And well, let's start with just a few articles. We're going to do 3 articles and then we're going to go to Friday Q&A. First one is apparently the DC pipe bomber that they arrested, the alleged DC pipe bomber's brother. And I was like, first of all, I'm blown away. It's a brother, okay? Let's talk about Jake Tapper real quick, because everyone's just skewering Jake Tapper. Apparently, Jake Tapper skewered for calling the black DC pipe bomber suspect Brian Cole Jr. a white man on air. Now, I'm not shocked. I don't really care. I just think it's funny. Hello, Selected Boy.
Yeah, boy.
But clearly, and now they didn't have a picture of him in the story either. CNN did not put a picture of him. Here, let me refresh this so we get the original Jake Tapper video here. Here it is. All right, Jake Tapper. Now, this picture is not from CNN.
Welcome to The Lead. I'm Jake Tapper. After nearly 5 years of investigation, the FBI finally announced that they had arrested a suspect accused of planting pipe bombs near the Republican and Democratic National Committee.
Wait, what was that noise? What was that noise in the background? Did like a light fall off from the roof or something, or did someone drop a pipe bomb in the studio? Did you hear that? Listen.
They had arrested a suspect accused of planting pipe bombs.
Did you hear that? Maybe someone was planting a pipe bomb. Anyway.
Republican and Democratic National Committee headquarters the night before the January 6, 2021 Capitol attack. Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs.
Okay.
is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction by means of explosion. CNN.
Now, there's a little bit of irony to this to me. And I, as a black man, I notice things sometimes, maybe, and I'm sure you do too, but I notice things because what was the purpose of stating the man's race? Whether he was black, white, or, you know, unless it was like some foreign national terrorist, some fucking what a thing. But what was the purpose of that, Jake Tapper? First of all, Jake got it wrong. Tapper made the cringeworthy gaffe while discussing the arrest of Cole, who is black, during an opening segment on The Lead. His white man comment comes at 5:01 p.m. Around the same time, CNN was the first outlet to publish a photo of Cole's face that originated from the suspect's mother's Instagram account. Cole's father is also black and once enlisted the services of Ben Crump. Oh my gosh! This family has hired Ben Crump? Holy moly! His father, who's also black, once enlisted the services of Ben Crump, an attorney best known for his racial discrimination cases. Viewers were stunned by Tapper's misrepresentation of the alleged pipe bomber. You can't make this stuff up, Betty Johnson said. Oh, because he wouldn't say you can't make this shit up. Says he's white, picture was black. We're arguing about that instead of the fact that it was Shawnee Kirkhoff. Okay, here's the problem. And we talked about this yesterday at midnight. And I look, I'm not arguing that it wasn't Shawnee Kirkhoff. But for some reason, out of the blue, a few days ago, Shawnee Kirkhoff produced a video of herself playing with her cats or dogs or some shit that had timestamps. Now, I said yesterday that was it's convenient, right? So convenient. And I was like, but anyway, everyone that does something wrong is white. Well, that's kind of how it is with Jake Tapper and some of these news people. And it's like, why would you have, you know, like it's a white man. If they had if he had said this, they don't ever say it when it's a black man or a Hispanic man. Unless they're being oppressed, of course, then they'll quickly say that, oh, they're being oppressed. So anyway, I just find it hilarious that Jake Tapper did this. And so there's a whole bunch of people, all the right-wing ex-people were just excoriating Jake Tapper, which he deserves, by the way. Real quick, thank you, Alan Thaler. Is it Thaler or Thaler? Hello, welcome, sir. And drop another $26 bomb in the super chats, just saying dog. You know, one of these days you're going to write something so profound that it's going to blow me away. But dog is pretty profound too. I appreciate it. And you are now the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Everything helps. So if you want to sponsor the show, you can do that just like Alan did, or similar, or, in theory. And I don't even have a link because I can't find Johnny Boomer Tech on the screen here. Is Johnny even working today? Apparently, because he's not in the studio. Okay, Johnny's not doing his job, but anyway. All right. Oh, Evan S. is here. Hi, Evan. I just saw your Abby there somewhere. I thought, if you're here, I'm pretty sure you're here. Okay, but back to this. So here's, the pipe. Now here's, and this is right too. The J6 pipe bomber story is about to get memory hold, and here's why. The arrest of Brian Cole Jr. on Thursday in connection with the J6 pipe bombing incident is a huge story, but make no mistake, this story is about to be memory hold by the mainstream media. And fast. Federal authorities arrested 30-year-old Brian Cole Jr. of Virginia for allegedly planting pipe bombs outside the RNC and DNC headquarters on the night of January 5th, 2021 for 4 years. By the way, you know when I said Tyler? Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. I'll say it right correctly for the rest of my life now. It's interesting that what are we, 11 months, we're just below 12 months, a year into the new administration, they make this arrest, right? But for the 4 years during the last administration, when they found all of these January 6 people, oh boy, they found everybody and, put them through the ringer, but they didn't find this guy. The probably the most dangerous of them all, of putting bombs places, right? They didn't find this guy. But now, as this report came out the other day, they also said that they kind of knew about, they knew about this guy before. So why didn't they arrest him? Oh, well, they didn't have any evidence. They didn't have enough evidence to arrest him. Why is that? Is this the same reason they don't check into Somali fraud? Anyway, let me read this article. As PJ Media previously reported, Cole's arrest did not result from new tips or brave new witnesses suddenly emerging from the shadows. It was because the Trump administration reviewed the evidence and pieced it together, something that they should have done years ago. Quote, today's arrest happened because the Trump administration has made this case a priority. A total lack of movement on this case in our nation's capital undermined the public trust of our enforcement agencies, Attorney General Pam Bondi said Thursday. This cold case languished for 4 years until Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino came into the FBI. The FBI, along with the U.S. Attorney Pirro and all of our prosecutors, have worked tirelessly for months sifting through evidence that had been sitting at the FBI with the Biden administration for 4 years. Well, why? And now, again, what's her face? What did you say, Midnight? I can't remember her name. Shani Kirkhoff. If it had, well, I guess if it had been Shani Kirkhoff, they would have sat on it too. But this storyline is a nightmare for Democrats. For years, the Biden team presided over the Justice Department that had endless resources to track down grandmas in MAGA hats using cell phone data, yet somehow could not close in on the one figure whose actions were used to paint January 6th as an organized terror plot. It's almost as if they figured out who it was and then said, "Oh, that would change the theme. That would change the narrative." But here's the big reason this case will be memory hold faster than you can say 1984. Brian Cole is a brother and a leftist. Those details go directly against the media's preferred narrative for pretty much any political violence. They wanted to create the impression that a white, straight, right-wing extremist are solely responsible for the violence in this country. The fact CNN Jake Tapper even described Cole on the air as a 30-year-old white man.
You're fucking a white male!
Oh, wait. No, you're not. From the DC suburbs. This is a lot about the baked-in assumptions that shape the coverage from day one. The moment the public sees that the alleged bomber comes out of the world of immigration activism and race-driven grievance politics, the story loses its usefulness for the corporate gatekeepers. And then there's more. Oh, I didn't even know this part. Cole did not just happen to lean left. He worked for a bail bond operation run by his father that specialized in freeing illegal immigrants from ICE facilities and even sued the Trump Department of Homeland Security over immigration policy. Weeks before he allegedly planted the pipe bombs, a court ruled against the family's company in a lawsuit targeting the Trump administration. Did Dick Tapper report that? Hell no. Later in 2021, Cole's father appeared at a press conference with left-wing attorney Benjamin Crump, angrily criticizing anti-black racism and urging the Biden Justice Department to investigate a Tennessee prosecutor who had expressed concerns about bail bonding practices. They portrayed themselves as victims of systemic bias while also working to weaken enforcement against illegal immigrants, using all the usual leftist buzzwords. This is the environment the alleged bomber emerged from, and the media really wished you never knew that and will do everything in their power to make the story go away. So let's see if we hear about this pipe bomber dude much in the media that's not on the right in the next few days. So it's all a package story. You know what? I am not going to argue with that, Midnight, because, well, and I mean Midnight in Exile, not our young friend Midnight. Yeah, I just don't, I'm not going to argue with that. I'm feeling pretty, I feel you. Let's put it that way. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very important time of the week. It is time for your favorite part of the week. There's a lot of other articles, by the way, but I'm just, fuck it. I'm going to do Friday Q&A. It's time for Friday Q&A. Hello, Reaction Puerto Rico. It's time for Friday Q&A. Shall we? Shall we dance? 1, 2, 3, and who knows what that's from? If you know what that's from, type it in the chat. Did you even hear what I said? I said, shall we dance? 1, 2, 3, and. What's that from? Who knows? I know what it's from, but I'm kind of a nerd. Okay, first question on today's Friday Q&A comes from Kara Soldier, who says, how do you like your eggs? Hey, that's a good question. I am an over medium guy, because if you order them over medium, they might come back over easy, they might come back over hard, but they come back with a little bit of turnover on the egg whites and a little bit of juicy in the egg yolk. So, especially, well, it depends too. If it's like in a skillet, I like them scrambled, but in just a regular old, what do you call it? Just have eggs. If I'm cooking eggs myself, I'm always doing them over medium. So there you go. Hey, thank you. TC's in the house and dropped a 6 spot in the tip jar. Thank you very much. TC says, oh, wait a minute. TC, now, TC Slutty Nuts. Is that the same as the Moist Tree Rat guy? Oh, it is? Okay, cool. TC Slutty Nuts dropped $6 in the tip jar. Thank you. Who says, I haven't taken one for the team for a while, but I'm ready to do so today. I will go duck hunting and sleep with the crippled Tammy Duckworth. Okay. She's actually not as bad as some of the ones you've come up with, okay? I mean, look, when you said Dianne Feinstein, who's, decaying, that was gross. Tammy Duckworth was a huge improvement over that, so there you go. Next question comes from, oh shoot, I can't see it because I have to span this. There you go. Laura Stanhope asks, if you could taste colors, oh shit. Do I have to answer this? If you could taste colors, what taste would a Lizzo workout video leave in your mouth? Well, is there a color called black? Yeah, it'd be that color. JB asks, when I drink grape soda and then throw a piss, where does all the purple go? Well, first of all, let's throw a piss. Is that a Brit thing or Canadian thing? Anyway, when I drink grape soda and then throw a piss, well, your kidneys and liver, is it your liver or kidneys? I think your kidneys. Something acts as a filter, so like a lot of dye and stuff just goes away. It's processed out, and then you get just what's left is the yellowy water, unless you're dehydrated, then it comes out brown. But yeah, kidneys does something to that. It's a great, whatever. Okay, I think I answered it. Avocados Diablo asks, have you seen Egyptologists found a hieroglyphic they thought explained how the pyramids were built? Turns out it was just a depiction of the thumbnail of Adam Schiff, though. Oh, you motherfucker. Let me recover from that for a second. Motherfucker. Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't hear about that. So thanks, though. Miss Wild Wolf asked, if you could go back in history and time, what year would it be and why? Well, look, it'd probably be sometime. Well, wait. I don't know that I would want to do that. I mean, I might go back to sometime during my life, and make some changes. Hello, Maniac Man. Man, it's been a long time I haven't seen you. Where you been? Nice to have you back. All right, cool. All right, wait, where am I at here? What was the question? Oh yeah, if you could go back in history or in time, whatever, what year would it be and what? Probably somewhere in the like late 70s, 79, 80, maybe 1980, like when I was a sophomore year in high school. And I would firstly of all, I would go back and invest in Apple. That's for fucking sure. And I'd say I'd invest in Apple, give it to myself and say, do not sell this for 40 years. But I don't know. You know, I don't look. Going back in time would be traumatic for just about anybody, unless it's a time that you know of. Because everything, the farther back you go, the more fucked up things are. Because you just don't have any of the shit that you have now. And so it would just suck. I don't think it would be a good thing, other than you know shit that people at the time you're going back to don't know. And maybe, but you know, possibly you could get burned at the stake for knowing too much. So I'm just like, go back to a time that you know and you don't, you know, you can't get in trouble in. That's my theory. Okay, thank you, TC Slutty Nuts, again with another 6 spot in the tip jar. Saying, look, don't shame me for necrophilia. Someone has to give loving to the dead. Bring lots of lube, though. They tend to be dry, decaying. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Kara Soldier asks, does pineapple go on pizza? Sure, of course it goes on pizza. Pineapple on pizza is, if you like pineapple on pizza, put the fucking pineapple on the pizza. If you don't like pineapple on pizza, don't put the fucking pineapple on pizza. I don't give a shit. I personally, occasionally, on a rare occasion, would eat one of those pizzas that are like Canadian bacon, pineapple, and onions or whatever, and it was pretty good. It wasn't great. I just like, you know, it's Hawaiian pizza, midnight, exactly. So if sure, why not? Unless you don't like it, then don't put pineapple on pizza, or pick off the pineapple that somebody else put on it. Okay, there you go. That whole pineapple on pizza fight that people have is just silly. Avocado Stably asks, if you have a dream that your toilet is haunted by the ghost of Flip Wilson, and every time you flush it, it says, don't touch me, you. You don't know me that well. You devil, you. What does it mean? It means that you should only poop in other toilets. That's what it means. Because I'm not, if my toilet talking to me like Flip Wilson, I'm just going to find another toilet. There you go. Kara Soldier asks, if you make chili, what meat do you put in it? Oh, I use, my chili recipe has hamburger, chorizo, and hot Italian sausage. That's that, and it's, my chili is really good. I like it. And everyone that has my chili likes it. And even people who don't like chili, because in fact I won. Well, I came in second place because some fucking white chicken chili, which is not chili, won. But I came in second place at a chili cook-off, and at my wife's work. So there you go. All right, all right. Cryptic's in the house. Thank you, Cryptic, dropping a 5 spot by a YouTube super chat with a simple, well, shit. That's all it says. Well, shit. Okay, well, thank you, Cryptic. I appreciate it. Thank you, Rich. All right, Avocado Diablo asks, was that last question too deep a reference for the younglings? Oh, the Flip Wilson one? How many people here? Oh, and Shia Grass in the house too. Damn, this is old school day. I'm so happy to see y'all here. Damn, it's awesome. Okay, how many people know who Flip Wilson is? Just put a yes or no in the chat if you know who Flip Wilson is. Yeah, Flip Wilson was still on when I was a child, and my parents watched that show, you know, Geraldine and all those little bits. It was pretty funny. Yes, Flip Wilson is pre-boomer tier. Well, no, if the youngest Gen X would know who Flip Wilson is too. So anyway. All right. Avocado Diablo says, I woke up this morning with a Dinah Shore song stuck in my head. How the hell do I even know a Dinah Shore song? Yeah, I know who Dinah Shore is. I couldn't name a Dinah Shore song. That's yeah. That's very Flip Wilson-esque. I'm just saying. Okay, moving on. Avocado Diablo asks, if 0 represents the absence of something, how can there be a 0 degree temperature? Wouldn't that mean that the point wouldn't that mean at that point there is no temperature? See, this is one place where the metric system at least makes some sense. Where 0 is the freezing point, and then everything goes from there and backwards or whatever. Where like in the Fahrenheit, it's 32 is freezing for water, for freezing water. So yeah, I don't know. There's no metric temperature. Yeah, Celsius. Well, Celsius. Whatever, Celsius. I laugh because I said I know I said whatever I just said. It's not metric temperature, but you know what I mean. You know what I meant. In Celsius, okay? It's not like in Kelvin. There's, isn't 0 really super cold? Anyway, all right. So yeah, the answer is fuck. I don't know. Okay, Carousel just asked, steak and eggs, a man's breakfast or pretentious? Also, biscuits and gravy. The steak and eggs is not pretentious. It's just a meat with your eggs. And if you like it and you're feeling like a steak, go ahead and have some steak and eggs. I love me steak and eggs about once every 9 months or so. I'll have steak and eggs. Biscuits and gravy? No, that's not pretentious either. But that developed from probably from kind of developed from being poor. Or in the South, I don't know, one of those things. And biscuits, if you make good biscuits. Why am I on Top Chat? What the fuck? I had it on live chat. That's stupid. Anyway, so yeah, no, it's all good. Biscuits and gravy, steak and eggs. Look, I had Chinese food for breakfast yesterday because I had some leftover Chinese food. Is that pretentious? No, it's just because it was in my fridge and I was hungry. So I don't believe that there's pretentious food except for avocado toast. That's fucking pretentious. Okay. Kara Soldier asks, who was your favorite action movie star in the 80s? Oh, that's tough. That's tough. I mean, I like the Stallone movies, even though some were like Cobra. It was Cobra. Siri, what year did the movie Cobra starring Sly Stallone come out?
The classic holiday film, Home Alone entered.
Not Home Alone. I said, oh, for fuck's sake. No. Siri, what year did the movie Cobra come out?
Cobra was released
1986. Yeah, it was a terrible movie, but I went because Sly Stallone was in it. Because Rocky just had me hooked, and then he started doing the fucking, the First Blood shit and it's Cobra and all those movies. They were terrible, but they were great because, there you go. Anyway, so yeah, Sly Stallone. Where am I at here? Avocado Diablo asks, are you ever going to resolve the mystery of what the wine mom said Tuesday that she did not know? She did not. So she said, yeah, no, I can't. Because even when I did the one tab, apparently I somehow deleted the one tab for that show because I deleted the whole show. So unfortunately, no. Carousel asks, if you could meet an author from the past, who would it be? Mark Twain. I think Mark Twain was a fascinating writer. I think he had some, all the little Mark Twainisms that there are, his little sayings and shit. It would be fun to just sit with him and talk. That'd be for me. Avocado Diablo asks, is it odd that I carry an index card folded up in my wallet with clues where I hid the body written on it, along with a bunch of random words and numbers to confuse cops should I die in an accident? Is it odd? Yeah, just a little odd. Yes, that's a yes or no question. Yes. Avocado Diablo asks, why do we call it a 24-hour clock when it only goes up to 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds? I mean, there sure is a 0 hour, but no 24th hour. Well, you know, when you add whatever's left of that last minute, the total is 24 hours. Actually, it's a 12-hour clock because it's not really a 20. Well, no, it is 24 hours because once the 24th hour ends at the new 0 hour, which would be a total of 24 hours. So there you go. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it. Lord Stanhope asks, if you could smell sound, what would an F4 Phantom flying 20 to 30 feet above you deciding to accelerate to Mach 2 as it directly flies over your head smells like? It would smell like my lack of hair on fire, so I goes to be my scalp. That's what it would smell like, whatever that burning smell of my head is. Kara Soldier asks, if Minnesotans are so smart, then why do they continue to vote for people shown to have the least amount of intelligence? Because they are... they're just full of themselves. And but I like living here, and it's hard sometimes looking at our politicians because they're really fucking up. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Avocado Sablias, if while you're waiting in line to board the plane, is it appropriate to lean over to the person you are with and whisper loudly and suspiciously, did you remember to pack the balm in the bag? Like lip balm, you know what I mean? Balm. Did you remember to pack the balm in the bag? Well, it is appropriate as long as you enunciate. Enunciate. Balm in the bag. Because if you say, the balm in the bag, without the slightest bit of, with lazy enunciation, it could cause a problem. I'm just saying. Okay, Avocado Diablo asks, why do we call it planting a bomb anyway? Very little digging is usually involved. I'm trying to think of a good answer for that, but I ain't got one. I'm trying still trying. Yeah, I got no answer for that. I don't know. It's like planting some contraband upon you. It's like you just put it in there, you hide it. Planting is like hiding things. That's why. That's it. Planting is like hiding things, right? Oh, he's not there. Where is Johnny? What the fuck's going on with Johnny Boomertech? Has anyone seen Johnny Boomertech? Or is it because I had it on top chat or something? Do you guys see Johnny Boomertech anywhere? Okay. Let's see. Next, Kara Soldier asks, if you were given the chance, how much time do I have? Oh shit, I gotta get through this quicker. If you were given the chance, would you want to meet Elvis? And what song would you request for him to sing? Song? Probably Suspicious Minds. And yeah, I think it'd be cool to meet Elvis. Why not? I mean, unless you mean like now, because, kind of like that Dianne Feinstein thing. Lord Stanhope asks, in your honest professional opinion as a bartender, what happened to Elon Musk's alternative conservative party, and what was the fate of all the Indians he nominated as candidates? I don't think that was ever serious, and I think a couple of them knew too much about Hillary Clinton, so. Kara Soldier asks, as a professional bartender, would you say that the Beatles were overrated? Wow. So, the Beatles, on the day I was born, had 5 of the top 10 songs on the Billboard chart. For some people, they were new. They were different. They were exciting because, a bunch of British white guys playing rock and roll. And look, I don't know that they were... I wouldn't consider them even in the top 10 of my greatest bands, my personal greatest bands. But I don't think necessarily, I don't know if overrated is the word. They definitely brought an entire new trend to the States in the way they did things. And frankly, their early stuff, which is a lot of just, borrowed music basically, or borrowed ideas from other rock and roll people. And I don't mean just black people, just rock and roll people in general. After they started getting a little more experimental with their music, I think they kind of proved their chops, even though, not everyone liked that music, but they proved their chops as far as being actual writers and songwriters and performers, whatever. So I wouldn't say they're overrated, but just not one of my favorites. Okay. Is that good? All right. Lord Santo asks, if you could smell sound, what would an average NPR broadcast smell like? Vicks Vapor Rub. That's all I can think of. That's the first thing that came to mind. Avocado Diablo asks, I have to give my cat an oral liquid medication for the next 2 weeks. On the package, it says, keep away from exposed flesh. What is a cat's mouth made up of if not exposed flesh? I think they mean your exposed flesh because, your fucking thumb will fall off if you drip some on your hand. Lord Santo asks, in your honest professional opinion as a bartender, would you prefer to be greased or lubricated? Also, would you prefer to grease someone or something or lubricate said whatever? Okay, the difference between being greased and lubricated. Okay. Being greased is when you slather grease all over something. Lubricated is when you put a lubricant on a joint or like a crease, like if you on a bolt or something. So they are actually two different things. But whether I'd rather grease or lubricate somebody. Oh my. That's quite a question. What would be the lubricant of choice? I don't know. But boy, oh boy, it sounds fun. Okay, that was silly. Avocado Salad. Oh no, I did that. Grease and lubricant. Oh my God, there's a lot of questions left. I don't have time. Shit. Okay. Okay. Now I got to go lightning round, guys. Sorry, I didn't realize how many freaking. You guys were ready for me today. I can tell. All right, let's go lightning round. Kara Soldier asks, which is a better natural cure for constipation? Cheerios or apples? Prunes. Avocados Diablo, if you had a twin brother, what crime would you commit together? I don't know if I'd commit a crime together, but if I were twin brothers, and I was pissed at my brother, I might figure out where my brother's going and commit a crime there just before he got there and run away. Because then, that'd be some funny shit. That'd be a great prank, wouldn't it? Okay, Kara Soldier asks, what part of India were these two from? Yeah, I do not know. I'm not 100% sure they were from India. And then the same question because you did it twice and then said, oh shit. So yeah, same question, same answer. Kara Soldier says, YouTube is screwing up between typing in chat and the prompt. Yeah, I make that excuse all the time. Select Boy asks, what would be considered a legacy of failure? Joe Biden's presidential runs. Yeah, think about what I just said there. Avocado Diablo says, speaking of Disney, what Disney film would be the least appropriate to turn into a porn adaptation in your opinion? Oh, well, it kind of has a built-in innuendo in the title, Steamboat Willie. Yeah. Okay. Chuck Kara Soldier says, what is your favorite Chuck Norris fact? Look, Chuck Norris is a fact. It's not something that you have to make it your favorite. Kara Soldier asks, have you watched any Tokusatsu media? Think Power Rangers. No, I was a little too old for the Power Rangers, and my kids were too young because they, Power Rangers are kind of that in between when you're like, what the? I'd see it because I'd be like in my 20s when the Power Rangers thing became a thing, and I was like, what the fuck is that? But then I suppose I learned to appreciate it somewhat, but no, I have not. Abs says, if you could clone the original members of the Mickey Mouse Club and turn them into a crack unit of child warriors, which tiny Asian island nation would you use them to take control of? Oh, Malaysia. It's not tiny, but yeah, Malaysia. Kara Soldier asks, and Annette Funicello? Woo. Kara Soldier says, who is funnier, Robin Williams or Eddie Murphy? I'm not, I would say Eddie Murphy. Robin Williams is funny, but I'm not into all the super goofball humor type stuff. Like I'm not like, even like Jim Carrey can be funny, but it's the goofball stuff. It was hard. I like the storytellers much better, even though, granted, all comedians are storytellers, but Eddie Murphy, definitely. Eddie Murphy. Avocado Diablo, do you think it's possible to turn liquid meth into Jello shots? And if it is, why has no one done it yet? How do you know no one's done it yet? They may have done it. I just wouldn't know. I have all my teeth, so you know that I don't know. Avocado Stabby says, do you think it's possible to turn... Oh, wait. You already asked that. Select Boy asks, Steiner Brothers or the Hart Brothers? Now, do you mean the Hart Brothers or the Hart Foundation? Because the Hart Foundation were not brothers. Obviously, Owen and Brett were brothers, but the Hart Foundation was the tag team. Which tag team did I like better? Oh, fuck. I like the Steiners before Scott Steiner became Big Papa Puff. Like when he turned really gross. I didn't like that whole character. I liked it back when the Steiners were, rah, 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 that guy, and then Scott still had his long hair. Yeah, I know Jim Neihart was no relation to Brett. I know that. Oh my God, I'm running out of time. Okay, quickly, Lord Stand Up. In your honest opinion as professional opinion as a bartender, what is worse, being uninformed or misinformed? Misinformed. It's because it's embarrassing to be misinformed. Laura Sandham asks, I have decided to start a construction of closet-sized microwaves. What would be a good example of someone who needs to spend time in a closet-sized microwave? Oh my gosh, that sounds like a sci-fi movie to me. But yeah, I as much as I'd like to say some name, I don't want anybody, that would kill somebody, and I'm not into murdering people. Well, if Jeffrey Epstein were still alive, maybe Jeffrey Epstein. Anyway, let's see. Kara Soldier, New Balance or Skechers? Look, I'm 60 years old. I'm 61. Yeah, obviously New Balance. Come on. Although, those Skechers slide-ins look pretty cool. Oh, God, I'm fucking old. Lord Stanton, if Joe Biden walked into a closet-side microwave, either accidentally or intentionally, and set it for defrost, would you let Sleepy Joe take a nap in the microwave while it runs? No, I would save his life and become a hero. Because everyone wants to be a hero. Avocados Diabli, Who is your favorite midget porn star? We know you have one. Don't try to deny it. I don't think I've ever seen midget porn. No, because I would remember that. No, I don't know. So stop lying on me. Stop. Whatever. Carousel, have you watched The Greatest Showman? And did you like it? I have not seen The Greatest Showman. Lord Stanhope, what's for dinner? And if you could taste colors and smell sound, what would the actual taste differ from the sight and smell of it? Well, no, they would. Well, I don't know. You know, it'd be like, what was it in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and she was eating the gobstoppers and it had all the taste in it. But yeah, that could happen. You know what I mean? For dinner tonight, I don't know what we're having for dinner tonight. It'll probably be something simple because I got to go to bed early. In fact, it might be Chinese again. Who knows? Because I'm not cooking tonight. Laura Midnight asks, what are you going to do for Christmas? Usually we do Christmas Eve in my house and then go to either my daughter's or someone else's. But this year we're going to have my daughter and her children over to our house in the afternoon. And then we have a friend who's having a dinner party on the rest of the day. So, you know, we're empty nesters, so we're pretty boring. But usually we have a bunch of people over Christmas Eve with a bunch of appetizers, and I make chili. And chili's on New Year's Eve. Chili's usually on Christmas Eve. Excuse me. And we have a bunch of appetizers, but I'm not doing it this year. So that's it. Select a boy, Martin Lawrence or Bernie Mac? I would say Martin Lawrence, even though he's kind of one of those goofball guys too, with the faces and shit. But Bernie Mac is so hard to understand what the fuck he's saying sometimes. For some reason, I mean, he's funny as hell. I went to a Kings of Comedy show when it was him and who's in the Kings of Comedy? The Kings of Comedy guys. Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer and who's the other one? D.L. Hughley. I went to one of those shows. Laughed my ass off. And Bernie was funny, but half the shit I didn't understand what the fuck he said. I don't know why. I have a mental block for Bernie Mac. Let's stand. What's the real difference between scrambled eggs and an omelet? There's stuff in an omelet. And it's folded over and shit. Ms. Wildwolf, have you tried candied cranberries? Candied cranberries? I've had cranberry sauce. I had some. There was some. I like craisins. But does that count? No, I haven't had candy straw cranberries. Ms. Wildwolf asked, do you know the plow is the same as the Big Dipper? I did not know that. I'll have to look that up. Carousel, have you listened to Skillet's cover of O Come Emmanuel? I have not. Lord Stand-Up, if you could smell sound, what would a Mustang, a Corsair, and an FW190 and a Spitfire flew 10 feet above and 20 feet away from you at full throttle, what would it smell like? Mustard green. Oh wait, smell sound. If you could smell, I'm sorry. I was thinking if it was the color sound or something, and I gave you a color. I don't know. I don't know. Carousel, who's the biggest degenerate in the chat? TC or AD? Oh God, TC. It's not even close. I mean, AD is pretty weird too, but TC, I'm not. You know, he's talking about fucking dead people and shit. Ms. Wildwolf, did you know that the candy cane is actually used as a symbol of Jesus? I did not know that. Ms. Wildwolf asks, have you ever had a spiritual encounter that shook you to your core? I haven't. I haven't had one of those. I'm waiting for that one. Probably just before I die. I'll wait for that one. Shiagrath asks, what is your go-to interview question? I don't interview anybody anymore. I don't give a fuck. You know, what's your biggest weakness? I'm too perfect. Lord Sandovaz, how come no one ever has pork chops and eggs? Au contraire. Au contraire. One of my favorite diners here in the Twin Cities, Junior's Cafe has a pork chop and eggs on the menu. And I've had it a couple different times. Hell yeah, it's great. Avocado Stallions, if you could taste colors, what would the movie Tango and Cash taste like? What are those, the red licorice, which is a kind of an oxymoron. What are the red, what are those called? The red licorice things. There's a special type of red licorice. Someone say in the chat and I'll say you're right. Okay, Sheogress, sorry Marty, if you had to choose between engaging in bestiality or necrophilia acts to save your family, which one would you choose? Oh God, what the hell? What kind of question is that? Now, okay, I changed my answer. It's not TC or AD. It is Sheograph. Yeah. Holy fuck. I mean, how fresh is the dead person? I don't know. Holy shit. Avocado Diablo, I'm not answering that question. Avocado Diablo asks, have you ever seen the original version of the movie The Trial with Anthony Perkins and Orson Welles? I have not. Avocado Diablo, how late are you? I'm way beyond late. Anna Land asks, what kind of lube is needed for self-replicating Franken-ants? Butter. Butter, yes. Sheograph, is Taco Bell pre-lube lube? Sure. Ms. Wildwolf, did you know a healthier version of Vicks Vapor Rub is coconut oil and eucalyptus essential oil or eucalyptus infused coconut oil? I did not know that, but that's good to know. Ms. Wildwolf asks, this is your last question. This close. No more questions, everybody. Avocado Diablo, speaking of Willy Wonka, why was there a chicken getting its head cut off and a person covered by centipedes anyway? Did I miss something in that movie? What? I gotta go watch that again because I have no idea. And finally, the last question on today's Friday Q&A comes from none other than Sheograph. And this is a great question if you ever come to the Twin Cities. It's good to know. The question is, Juicy Lucy's. If you know what a Juicy Lucy is, raise your hand. Matt's or the 5-7 Club? I hate to say it. Well, I don't hate to say it. Matt's, but I don't know. But they both claim they're the first one to do it. But Matt's. So there you go. All right, guys, that's it. I gotta go. I'm late, later than I expected, and I'm sure that, but I'll be okay. Thank you everybody for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. Thanks to our sponsors TC and Alan Thyler. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll be back on Monday. Let me allow me to drop these things in the chat here. Why did that not work? Oh, I see. There we go. And let me end the Friday Q&A before someone tries to ask another question, because you know how you are. I know how y'all are. All right, here's the links. I'll just put links. And there's some good articles in the aggregator, as always, so check that out. I got to go. Thank you. My name is... thank you. Again, have a great weekend. Hope all your dreams come true. There. My name's PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye. Bye. Click. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.